What is up, you guys? Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm Maddhaddar. Welcome. I really appreciate all of you being here. It's so much fun. Today we're just going to play around with some of my singles and see if I can build the BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast. So it's kind of green but like toned down, and it wasn't too large for me to feel like I'd feel overwhelmed trying to dupe it. So it is right here. And I just put it in this ColourPop case just because that's where it fit. And this is kind of the final decision what I came up with. So if you're interested in taking a look over my shoulder at my makeup counter and watching me put this dupe together, afterwards see me do this look. Just keep on watching. It's kind of hard to tell because there's one straight on picture and one like arm swatch picture, and one's a little cooler, one's a little warmer, so we'll see what we can do. I think I can do this pretty close. Just looking off their arm swatches, it looks like they start at the right and go down by column, so that's what I'm going to do. So starting in that top right of Boxer, I think this is Tinker Time, yeah. They're kind of this one's a bit champagne. So one's more of like a champagne, one's more neutral. So for now, I think I'll go with the neutral one. Next below that, I think I know what I'm going to do already. Rosé all day, I think, is a good choice because in one photo, it looks kind of like a green, olivey green. So this kind of looks like a reddish brown. I don't think I have anything quite that red. Too dark. Not as red, but I think I'm going to go with this one. It's like a close as I have. Anything would be too orange, and this is too cool. Okay. Let's see, this last one I think just looks kind of like a nice deep shade, maybe even a black. The only black I have has glitter in it, so we'll stay away from that. And there's the first column. Okay, next column, let's start at the top. It's like a nice like peachy color. Maybe even like a rose gold, looking back and forth at the two pictures. And most of my rose golds, maybe even leaning on the neutral side. So what I'm thinking would be Lust in Time. This one is West Star. Both of these are ColourPop. This is West Star. It's just a little deeper. The other one I think is more like the tone peachiness we're looking for. So I'll do that one there. Okay, and this one seems pretty obvious in my collection. It's from the Mint to Be in ColourPop. It's kind of like the most vibrant shade. It's like that cool green, kind of bright, still a little bit muted. Next is like a peachy pink from the She palette, which is discontinued now, but one of the like peachy colors in there is called Deer, and it still has a little bit of redness in there because that was a rose palette. Because I have something like this. This is just a little too orange. Yeah. I think this is pretty close. It's orangey enough, not too pink. So that was Taupe Notch, and Deer is the one I'm going to go with. That's what I'm trying to decide if it's like a green, like a deep teal, or if it's, I kind of want to put this in. It's one of my favorite colors. This is Club from MAC. It's a really cool one. I think I'll put that in. Okay, next column. I think I'm going to use more of a satin, even though theirs looks kind of more like a matte. It's on the peachy nude side. This is Moony from the Dream Street ColourPop palette. This one seems pretty obvious to me. It's not exact, but it's about the only thing I have in my collection like this, and I just keep scrolling. It's one of their discontinued pressed pigments. Theirs looks bright in one photo and kind of like more dusty in another, so that's kind of what I'm going to go with for mine. It's the closest thing I have. Next is another obvious one to me, and that's a Sturdy Martini from Makeup Geek. It's just like the only kind of army green color I have. I think I'm going to go with one of my really old tried but true MAC colors called Peacock. And it's one of the dreaded matte with glitters, but for this purpose of this palette, we'll just use it as a matte, even though it does have specks of silver in it. The last column, the top two look like they're very similar, but one is like a little bit more peachy, and the other one's like kind of more golden. Like they're both very champagne. Because I have like this, or like this. Try for the peachy one. I think I'm gonna go with this one actually. Just a little bit more erring on the side of neutral, ever so slightly. A little bit more pink too. Okay, put that there. Okay, next is like, this is the most champagne gold on the yellow side I can think of that I have, and it's from the Gwen Stefani palette also. I think it's called Bathwater. That one, I think I have one even more yellow that came. It's 1987. Yeah, it's kind of like yellow gold. That's the closest thing I really have. We'll go with this yellowish one. Final answer. This is where I keep them. Yeah, I think I've got one from the Aha Honey palette called the Oh Behave. It was like the one that's like a mid-toned, mid-tinted yellow. It wasn't as bright as the others, still a little mustardy. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Seems like a good match. Yeah, I think so. A couple of mints here. That could work. Let's see them. They both come from the Mint to Be. Very similar. So I think I'm going to go with kind of this cooler one. I think it'll look nice with these warmer tones. It was called Freshman. And the Mint to Be was my Okay, here's the final palette. Let's take a closer look and do a makeup look with this. I think it'll be really fun. Okay, let's get started on a look with this palette. Looks pretty fun, a little different and still kind of green. Start by priming my eyes. I'm just applying some of this Maybelline concealer. I've already done my other base for my face. Just focus on an eye look today. I forgot to prime. I think I want to go in with like these two here, maybe these three, like this row here. I haven't done a look like that in a while with these colors. Take a fluffy brush like this. I'm going to dip it. I'm going to use this pink as like a transition today. Hopefully I'm in frame and focus. And I think I'm going to do that kind of in the mid area here. And bring that forward. I'm using a very delicate amount of pressure to get a softer blend, but I'm getting a lot of pigment on the brush because it's a denser, fluffier brush. Just carrying this pink throughout on both lids. I think this is pretty much going to be my transition color. I'll carry this through on the bottom lash just a little bit, but not connect them. Okay, so something like that, and then I think I'm gonna dip into one of these deeper brown colors with a flat brush and kind of work this outer corner. I think I'm gonna do this one because it has a little bit more red to it, and then that one on the very outside. Just blending that right into pink up here and along the lower lash line, kind of in a like V a little bit. Show you again on the sides, a little bit along the top of the lid, the lash line, and a V, and into the pink right on the brow bone. And I'm just patting it in right now. I'm going to use my finger for this next shade and pack this on the lid. The middle and towards the outside. And the other side too. I'm just keeping it on the lid right now. I'll work my way up into the crease in a second. Go back and forth a little bit, build it up. I didn't wet this or anything, I just thought my finger worked nicely to press that on the lid. Kind of place it where I want. Go back to that brush that had the pink on it, that fluffy, dense brush, and start at the outside and in one direction. Push those colors into my crease very gently. something that's like a little extra long and fluffy. And I think I'm gonna use this kind of champagne satin color that I liked, this vanilla satin, and I'm gonna run this along the top. Gonna highlight a little bit. I think I will take a little bit of this color here and run that like this. And I'm using a softer brush. And same brush, dip into that first pink and start fluffing it up into this area. A lot of times I just go back and forth with like the same couple of colors. Okay, so turn this into a nice like smokiness. Smoky mess. I'm gonna go over one more time. This green. Still concentrating on the same area of the lid, just kind of doubling up on the intensity. And I'm gonna do this one here. I'm gonna just pat that on the inner corner. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to use like a smaller flat brush. I think I'm going to do this dark red. Right in the middle here. So some of this color up here that I put down here is still peeking out. This little pencil brush and just tap this inner gold here. Mix the two. That was a little more yellow. I'm going to take some of this bold color here. Go over my whole crease with that. A little bit on the outer corner just to tone the whole look a bit. What's left, I'm just kind of smearing very bottom. I like to take a clean, fluffy brush and just go over the edges whenever I'm doing something really kind of colorful like this. Nothing on it prior. That just helps with like kind of smooth everything out. Now I'm going to take some mascara. This is Clinique. I will add some nude in the waterline and some nude in the inner corner. Nude eyeliner here I'm using today is from Maybelline Infallible. No, L'Oreal Infallible. Just as Infallible. Long wear eye pencil. Just gonna take some of this lime green and pat that over where I put that pencil. Just on the inner corner. And then I think I'm gonna go just a little bit onto the lid, slightly too. Blend it in on the bottom. And I think the final thing I have to do is just touch up my lips. This is a Milani matte and just like a peachy nude. It's called Matte Innocence. And then a little lip liner in the shade Taurus from ColourPop. It's just a warm nude brown with a warm nude beige. Okay, so that's it, you guys. That's the final look. This is the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hopefully you had fun trying to see me dupe these palettes with my singles and just play around with what I come up with. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in my next video.